So is it really dead? I think not. So I know that It Chapter 2 just came out, and of course I'm a huge fan of the book. You can actually see it over there. Um, and so I've been reading a whole bunch of Stephen King's books, and I do have a bit of a theory on why Pennywise, or It, more accurately, is not dead. So this is mainly going to focus on the books rather than the movies, although can't wait to see It Chapter 2, although I have not yet. So the books is what is more canon, so that's what we are going to focus on, right? So at the end of It, and spoilers, so turn around now, unless you want to hear it. Okay, you're still here. So at the end of the book, you have Bill who reaches into the giant spider form of It and crushes his heart, right? And then you get the whole thing where the sewers collapse and they're able to find their way out, and they think that it is dead. Well, I don't think so, and here's why. So everybody knows that all of Stephen King's books are connected through the Dark Tower series, so all of his books, and there's tons of cross references. I mean, even in Mr. Mercedes, it mentions the car from Christine, and it mentions the It as a movie, which is hilarious because, all right, let's connect it to another book. So it takes place in Derry, Maine, which is his allegory for Bangor, I think, and so does Dreamcatcher, which I also have back there. And Dreamcatcher, in Dreamcatcher, you have like there's a monument thing in Derry that I think it commemorates a bunch of like the missing kids, either that or one of the disasters, right? And scrawled on it, I think either in graffiti or blood, but I can't remember. Let me know down there. Is Pennywise lives. So you have Dreamcatcher existing in the same universe as it, right? Then so in it, what is one of the names that it uses to call itself? It calls itself Robert Gray. Okay. Then in Dreamcatcher, you have the main alien that turns into dust and infects Jonesy. And what does he call himself? Mr. Gray. So in it is described as, and this is very, very loose, but we're just going to go with it here. It is described as an alien, albeit the fact that he's a being that's been around since the dawn of time and exists in the multiverse, along with Maturin, the giant turtle that barfed up the universe when he had a stomachache, right? So you have Robert Gray in It, and you have Mr. Gray in Dreamcatcher. So let's look at the parallels between Robert Gray and Mr. Gray, right? Both of them eat people. Both of their species eat people. Now, what is Mr. Gray trying to do in Dreamcatcher? Reproduce. How? By going through the water system, all that, and even it reproduces, or yeah, reproduces through infecting others. Like there's those two people that were in the car accident that are found by one of Jonesy's buddies, and then even by hijacking Jonesy and trying to get to the water supply. So we definitely know that they exist within the same universe, and we know that Dreamcatcher takes place after it. So both it and the aliens, shit weasels, as Stephen King's wife likes to call them, and even in the book they're referred to mockingly as shit weasels. They want to produce. Well, what is it doing near the end of it? When it's a spider form, they notice eggs where it is trying to reproduce. So now we're going to extrapolate some theories here, right? So at the end of it, it's trying to reproduce, and then in Dreamcatcher, it's trying to do the same thing. So the main argument that you could make is that it and the aliens from Dreamcatcher are completely different, but they're both they both can be considered aliens, right? And then you have their idea of reproduction. You have the same names that are used, the same name with Robert Gray and Mr. Gray, and you have the idea that, or here's my idea, right? So it already tried to reproduce and consume and live in one way in it, and then it kind of had to change its tactics. So Dreamcatcher hints that Pennywise is still alive, and then you have these aliens that show up and are trying to take over the area and reproduce. Now, could this hypothetically be backups or backup from the same species as it? I don't know, but I don't think it really matters. It really matters, right? So, I mean, that's it in a nutshell, puns. And it's just way too coincidental that Stephen King would use the same name for both beings. I mean, if you have not read Dreamcatcher and you become interested by it, I definitely would. Don't count on the movie as being 100% representative, mainly because they screwed up the ending for Dreamcatcher. I'm pretty sure, according to one of my buddies, that they did not like the book. It has a completely different ending than what has been portrayed in It Chapter 2. Although It Chapter 2 would still be a very good movie. Yeah, so I just thought I'd throw my 2 cents in there as to why I do not think that Pennywise, Robert Gray, it is not dead. Good hunting. Thanks for watching my video. So if you want to check out my playlists, I have, among others, the Simon Necronomicon, the Tree of Life, General Magic, Tulpamancy, a playlist on my books, the elements, stones, the theories that govern magic, and the gods and goddesses of Mesopotamia. If you want to check out my books on Amazon, I have Creating Consciousness, Magical Mechanics, Magical Theater, Handy Sigil Magic, Magical Movement, which is an update and expansion upon Handy Sigil Magic, Magical Mastery, which is a combination masterwork of Magical Theater and Magical Mechanics, and The Guide to the Spheres and Beyond. You can also find me on Facebook at Magickology YT. You can email me at priestofthenecro@gmail.com, and you can even check out my Instagram, which is Magickology. And good hunting.